Hey, it's Emma Romano here, founder of the Thrive and Life Foundation, self-healing coach, and the midwife to your personal alchemy.
I am Kelly Bowen, founder of the Heaven Within Foundation, CEO of Lifestyle Finance Australia, finance expert, life and business coach.
And you are listening to Inspired Conversations,
where we talk about the things that really matter. Yes, we go there.
We share together what's exciting us, inspiring us, and having the most profound impact on our lives and our clients' lives. And we do this to elevate and inspire you.
We cover it all from life, body, love, relationships, trauma healing, addictions, business, money, and all things woo-woo.
So sit back, relax,
and get ready to be inspired and laugh the fuck out loud.
Welcome, everybody. This is Inspired Conversations. I'm Emma Romano, and this is the beautiful
Kelly Bowen. And you are part of our very last episode. And today we want to bring something so special to you and want to thank you for being on this 2-year journey with us.
It's been gorgeous.
Oh my God, it's been incredible. Like, this has been such a beautiful space for Em and I to jump on and share what's been inspiring us, literally exciting us, like different life experiences that we've been having, sharing with you. You've also been such a huge contributor to the show and what we've brought through for you. Like, you've been on a huge nervous system healing and regulation journey with us. Like, I remember where we both started, Em, like it was the beginning of our nervous system healing journey when we just learned about fawning and how much we were big fawners.
It's been a huge 2 years.
Hasn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's really been a massive 2 years. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for listening and for sharing and for reaching out to us. A lot of you have reached out to us. We love doing this. And oh, by the way, before you think of me, no, nothing's wrong with Kelly and I. We love the fucking guts out of each other.
Yes.
It is just, we birthed this beautiful baby, as Kelly said the other day. We've birthed this beautiful baby, and now it's gone off to university.
Yeah, it's grown up. Like, it is literally the purpose of which we birthed Inspired Conversations for is literally fulfilled its purpose. And Em and I have grown and shifted so much, and now where we are in our journeys, we're both organically kind of going in different directions from a collaborative perspective. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to give you opportunities at the end of the show to come and follow us on other podcasts where we're hanging out. You will definitely get to know where we're going and what we're doing. And this is not goodbye. This is just, hey, come join us on the next chapter and what that looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got lots to share with you in this episode, everyone. And my purpose of this episode is closure and also to give some real gold as well. Kel, go for it, babe. I'm handing over the reins.
So I guess
Kelly's got some juicy shit.
I do have some juicy shit, and we're definitely gonna dish the tea. Like, trust me, all for going out with a bang. My last let's say my last month has been a wild fucking plot twist, and I'm going to share it with you guys because I recently had someone come back into my life, even if briefly, but they were the ones that really were the initiator, the activator, the beautiful gift, the soul that said yes to playing that part in my life that then sent me cascading down the nervous system healing path. And I'm so grateful for that soul, because if they didn't come into my life at the time that they did and didn't give me that beautiful gift, our last 2 years of conversations probably never would have happened. Who I've become now and who I've grown into definitely would have happened. Or maybe it just would have been another person, different face, similar kind of scenario that would have been like, hey, grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me and woke me up and be like, dude, you need to go heal your shit. Which has created just such a beautiful space. So we're going to talk about a few little takeaways and little nuggets of gold I got from that. And I also want to set the tone that I want to talk a little bit about conscious uncoupling, which is really something that I think needs to be spoken about, because most people, they're all like, yay, let's get into a relationship, or let's get into a friendship, or let's get into a business connection. But what do we do when it doesn't feel aligned anymore? and nothing bad's happening, but we need to separate. How do we have that conversation? Or worse, things haven't been good for a while, and you've come to the realization of, hey, this isn't working. How do we have the conversations where we can leave without creating trauma with each other, or out creating karma that we're going to have to go clean up in other lifetimes with that person, or play out again with other souls to see if we can learn the pieces of embodiment or integrate the fractured parts of self so that we can start things and end things with the same level of love, reverence, and excitement. How are we doing so far, Em?
Great. Great. And you know what? So sorry, I was just thinking. So I'm gonna can I just pop what I want to tell everybody is this. My usual way of breaking up or stopping something is there has to be a drama. There has to be an excuse for me to say, this is why I don't want to hang out with you, or this is why I don't want to be with you, it's why I don't want to do business with you. And I love this about you and I, Kel, because Kel and I met 3 years ago. I was 15. And what a ride it's been. And this whole relationship has probably been the most conscious relationship that I've ever had.
Oh, I love you so much.
It's been so beautiful and healthy, and also like we've really pushed each other to be better versions of ourselves, I feel. You know, we have these really amazing discussions. And how we've uncoupled with this, I was really proud of myself. So you guys, I teach relationship work, and I just taught to 21 practitioners a month and like 6 weeks ago. There's 21 people in the group. And the way that Kelly and I consciously uncouple from this, I actually took a screenshot of it and put it in our group and said, this is how you consciously uncouple from someone. And they're like, oh, this is so beautiful. I went, there's no drama. There's no problem. It's complete. We've looped it. We've done that. It's a complete package. It's beautiful. And so how we uncoupled from this was I just simply messaged Kelly and said, yeah, let's do something different. Let's dissolve it. And she's like, yeah, I feel it too. This is great. Let's just, and then it was Kelly's idea to do one last podcast and go, let's say thank you and give God. And I went, that feels freaking beautiful. That feels beautiful. And it was just, we uncoupled from the podcast, and I felt really light and more in love with Kelly than, because usually for me, it's like, there's a problem, or they've ripped me off, or they haven't been good, there's got to be an issue. And it's just so interesting how that it just wasn't with us. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And look at me, adulting. Can we all
Right?
give Romano a little clap on our hands, round of applause for adulting? Yay!
Well done for that, Auditor Romano. Very good. And yay. And I want to add on to that. Like we will give you some strategies of like the key pieces that need to be involved with this. There's also a really awesome book that I recommend everybody read, or at least get onto YouTube and like YouTube this person. Her name is Catherine Winwood Thomas, and put in Conscious Uncoupling. She wrote the book. She wrote the book about it. But there's some things on YouTube. I might even see when we post this episode, if I can find the particular, I think it's only like 20 minutes, but she literally goes into the framework of this, and it's so beautiful and amazing, because often when you uncouple, it's not just the two of you that is separating, it's that everybody else that's impacted by that separation. And how do you want their perception, or how do you want them to navigate their perception of the experience? Because when you're in positions of leadership and you separate, then there's fallout to people that look up to you. So when you do this in a conscious way and create this space so that you can come together and separate with love, it's unconsciously giving other people the permission to do the same, but yet also it's not creating any attachment trauma within their own nervous systems. So if people are looking to like mother, father figures, which often happen within leadership spaces when couples dissolve or business things dissolve, if that isn't managed in a way, it can create such chaos and ripple effect in those that have been looking at you for leadership. And so it's so important to manage these pieces. And this person who'd recently come back into my life. It's funny that we're having this conversation full circle, right? It's all full circle. Because I remember when this person, like, when her and I separated the first time, I offered the path of conscious uncoupling. Like, I'd just come across this work and I was like aware, like it was a public relationship, and there were lots of people watching us, and we'd positioned ourselves as a public relationship, and we were in a position of leadership. And I was like, I can see the fallout on this. I know it's not going to be great. How about we go down this path of conscious uncoupling? And she didn't want to take it. And it was bloody, and there was dirty, and there was like carcasses in the water. Like, it just wasn't good. And so, being that, coming around full circle, I just find it really interesting now that, like off the back of that, this show started talking about nervous system regulation. This show's ending talking about conscious uncoupling. I just find full circle wild, right?
Good bookend.
Great bookend. So anyway, the other thing that I've also noticed, like you, Em, I recently had some big, significant relationships ending. And from the past, how they would have ended to how these significant relationships are ending, it has been so beautiful and so loving. And there was one, so that there's been three big ones, all within the professional space for me. In the past, where things have ended in the professional space, there has been that bit of drama and that bit of trauma. And so I'm just I'm kind of processing this, like, as we're lifetime talking. So there was one this time last year. I had a staff member that I had to fire him, actually. It was really what happened. Like, let's call it what it is, because they did something that was just an instant dismissible offense. Like, there was no coming back from it. I couldn't do anything about it. And anyway, I hired this really beautiful, incredible person off the back of that. And recently, I'd been feeling like, just sort of like where our journey was coming to, I could feel it was coming to a completion. I just didn't know when it was going to come to a completion. And I got the message this week that their working relationship with me was coming to a completion. And again, how this has dissolved itself and like how it's going, again, it's being done with so much love, so much care, so much reverence, so much respect for my business, their position they've had in my business, them being available to support me and the business, to integrate the new person that we'd just hired like 2 weeks prior to me getting this message, and also being overseas and coming back from overseas, that it was so beautiful and with so much love. And I'm like, wow, I'm getting great at ending things with love. Whereas in the past, like you, Em, there'd been some kind of drama. And then I'd had another one in the professional space, another one of the coaching containers that I facilitate in. My role within one of them, they're changing some of their organization structure, where in one of the particular containers, like, I'm just not needed to coach in there anymore. I've still got like the main one that I work in, but not the other one. And again, it was just so much love. And so it was like, yes, actually, that feels really good for me, because it feels like less responsibility for me to be here. And I can take that energy that I've been wanting to put over here into some of my own projects. And just watching them, except for this last one where this other person, the one that sent me on the nervous system journey, healing journey, and the conscious uncoupling, has come back. I thought it was uncoupling in a very conscious way. However, there's been a few things that have recently transpired where I'm like, I just don't know how to work with that.
Wow.
And so, conscious uncoupling, if we were to put this into a framework, Em, what do you think are the key components? Like, if we were to give our listeners some gold around like some of the key points and understanding to be able to do this in a way that creates love and still maintains connection and reverence and respect for the person and the journey, and sometimes in some cases even more connection after the fact of the uncoupling of whatever it was that initially brought you together?
The first thing you can't do is blame.
Yeah.
Just don't find a problem to pinpoint it on, to go, this is why we can't do this, or this is why I can't be your friend, or this is why I can't be your lover, whatever it might be, it's because of this. One of the very first things is really check in with yourself. Kelly and I were talking about, literally, we've been on Zoom for an hour and a half chatting before we press record.
I've been dishing the real tea.
Yeah.
What I can say in private versus
I
what I
got
can
the
say.
R18 plus tea. You guys get the PG.
You get that I'm sharing this for service, not for my own self-indulgence.
Kelly said something, and it was so beautiful. And it was about, don't give someone your heart for them to hold your heart. Allow them to hold your heart with you. So if they pull their hand away, you've still got your heart. When we are uncoupling consciously, it's for the greater good for both of us. And what happens is there's no pain body or trauma body involved with it. So you've got to come from soul love, just from love. This is why it's happening. This is when it's all good. I'm still here. I love you, blah, blah, blah. But let's just resolve and dissolve it. That's one of my two basic, my real ones is, first off, don't do the blame game. Don't look for something wrong when the energy has just moved on. When the season of the relationship or whatever that relationship is has gone through. It's just gone through. Because Kelly and I aren't doing podcasts anymore, it doesn't mean we're not friends. You know, it doesn't mean we're not going to be travel buddies. It doesn't mean, you know what I mean? It's like, if one door closes on our relationship, another two doors will open on our relationship.
Or for somebody else.
Yes, or for someone. That's universal law. That has to happen. So my biggest thing is, don't blame and don't look for the negative of, this is the reason you did this or I did that. There doesn't need to be. What's yours, Kel?
Yeah, I really love that. I'm going to go a little deeper on that part about holding our hearts. And I think
I love that.
it's so beautiful, isn't it? It was something that I saw Adam Rower talking about on Instagram. He's I don't really follow him. He just happened to pop up on one of my reel scrolls, and you all know how much I love my reel scrolls. I just probably waste too much time on them. Yet I get really awesome gold from them that usually just drops in certain key pieces. And I think this is when we go into any relationship, friendship, business, I was gonna say business professional, same thing, intimate, relationship on any scale. Often what we can do, because we haven't done the own inner work and developing our own sense of self and learn how to hold ourselves, when we come into presence of another person or another thing, because often if we don't have an intimate relationship, we will play out our wounds with our friends, or if you are in business, you will play out your attachment styles and your nervous system dysregulation with your business. And how that works is like, if you've got an anxious attachment and you have like your clients, things aren't going right with your clients, or things are slowing down, you're like, where's my clients? Why isn't my business working? Like there's this anxiousness and like neediness that comes from like, I need more clients. I need, like, there's this need that comes through, which is the anxious attachment of never being able to be satiated. Just like, if there's the avoidant attachment, what happens if your business isn't working? You go looking for the next best thing. Oh, let me try this MLM thing. Oh, let me try this new product. Like we play it out. Like even if you don't have a partner, you will find ways to play all of this shit out. So the first part is really learning how to hold yourself, to really having that awesome relationship with yourself, where you know where you start, you end, and how your body starts responding to different situations, because this is your nervous system responding to the environment. So once you know where you are, where you start and you finish, and you can hold yourself, and when the aspects of you come up, you can be with them, then you can come into presence of somebody else and be like, hey, I know how to hold me. I'm going to hold my heart on my hand, and I think you're really awesome, and whatever this project is or capacity that we're doing this, would you like to hold my heart with me? And I would love to hold your heart with you.
I love that. That's so beautiful.
Isn't it? I hadn't heard it. I just love the way he put it, because even in this experience that I've been through, yeah, I'm hurting and yeah, I'm disappointed. But because I'm holding me, it's not like it's inconvenient. The word I'm using is inconvenient. It's uncomfortable. That's the word. It's uncomfortable. Like it's uncomfortable, but it's not unbearable. And I can still see all the gifts, and I can still hold love for this person, and I can still hold me, and I can still be disappointed, and I can still be all of those things. But even though they've let go in the way that they've let go, I've still got me. So I'm okay. Doesn't mean that I'm not feeling things and processing things, but I'm okay. So when we can do this, what happens when we can hold our hearts in each other's hands equally, like we're both, and holding ourselves, it allows us this space to be true and authentic to the lifespan of the situation, of the relationship, of whatever it is that you might be engaging with that person. Now, obviously, the deeper the connection, like when we're looking at intimate relationships, it's a little bit more challenging than being like with, for example, like Em and I coming to the completion of Inspired Conversations. We both felt the energy shift. We both felt that we weren't fully present in the show like we were at the beginning. Like we still don't get it. Please don't misunderstand. Like we absolutely love doing it. We wouldn't be here if we didn't, but we could feel that our attentions were being pulled elsewhere into other projects. And the lifespan and the purpose of what we set out to create with the show, we could feel it was coming to completion. And because we were both like holding our own hearts and holding each other's hearts, we could feel the authenticity of this. So when Em said to me, hey, like, like, are you feeling that your heart's still in this? Like I'm struggling a little bit with coming up with ideas and content, and I feel like my energy is going elsewhere. How would you feel if we dissolved it? I was like, yes, because I feel the same. And that doesn't mean we might not randomly pop up one time in the future because we've got something real cool to share. It's not a hard finish, like as in this, like this is still part of that. But this is where it gives us the space that it's not personal. And it also gives us the space to be able to read the situation for what it is and realize the situation isn't permanent. Be like, okay, cool. I feel like this is coming to its lifespan completion. And then the next part that I would be looking at in terms of what would I like to create beyond this? Because often where we can get stuck with the conscious uncoupling is it's like, okay, it's ended and now there's a void. Well, now what? And that the void is the part that hurts. The void is the part where we have to start dealing with whatever we've made that mean, whether it's abandonment, rejection, betrayal, neglect, whatever it might be. That void is where we have to go, okay, this is where the work starts. Is there parts of me here that need to be looked at in healing because I was using this to compensate for something? And where do I need to go and what do I need to do to heal this? But also, what do I want to create beyond this? If I let go of this, what space does this make available for me? Because like Em said, universal law, like when one door closes, two more opens. So then when we start to get clear about what we want to create afterwards, now we can start to have excited anticipation about what we're moving forward to. And it's okay.
Can I just interrupt for a second there? You know, the door closes, two open. Let me just warn people, the two doors that open will depend on how you close that door. Because if you're in a frequency of, if I had sat here and gone, I don't know, oh, bloody Kelly with her freaking black fingernail, ew, gross, I hate black, whatever, I love it, nails. But whatever, if I go, no, she's a bitch because she, I don't know, has a cat, right?
A bit pot, kettle pot.
I know, right? We were just sitting here with our Maine Coons on our laps.
Look, mine's bigger than yours.
Judging to see which one's longer. But if I sat and go, oh, Kel's a bitch, she's got a cat, and blah, blah, she's horrible, she's mean. The two doors that open will be those same frequency of that. If I'm sitting there going, oh my God, I've had the two best freaking years. We have created such a close friendship. Like literally Kelly and I don't bullshit each other. Sit there going, oh, isn't it lovely weather? We like, bang, let's get in.
Yeah.
We're like, get a cuppa, girl. Let's do it, right? We really talk, and I fucking love that. That to me is worth, you couldn't, there's not enough money in the world to pay me for that. Like that is huge. It's priceless. And so I know because we have such a beautiful relationship and then we're dissolving the podcast so beautifully, the two doors open on the back of this are going to be fucking delicious. They're in that frequency. So if you sit there and think, oh, good, I'm going to get rid of my narcissistic lover and kick him out or kick her out the door and I hate him and I hate her. And well, the two doors that are open are going to be exactly on that frequency. It's very interesting, but it is a universal law. Yeah. Keep going. Sorry, Kel. Sorry.
No, I love that. But this is it. So what happens too, like when we end things where there's still disharmony, the timeline fragments that are being created from that is we're going to pull from the past, what's unresolved, to recreating the present to give ourselves the opportunity to heal it again. So when we take the time here to do this work, this is where we get to create from clean, fresh, new slates. And sometimes in the ending, it's not always the pleasant feeling that you want to have, yet it's exactly what needs to happen. And which I'm going to jump into in a second, just like linked back to the experience that I've recently just had, because I guess I got the opportunity to go back and kind of redo the uncoupling that I had with this intimate partner, the biggest relationship I ever had, to go back and do it more in a conscious way, so that I wasn't playing out these patterns with other people or having to, really recreate it. I haven't really had any relationships since then. I had a very interesting situationship, which we've spoken about on this show. We got lots of gold out of that. But I
Sure
haven't
did.
but I haven't I haven't fallen in love since that relationship. So I guess coming back around to doing this is that opportunity for conscious uncoupling. Yet it's been it's been like trying to cuddle a cactus, to be honest.
Yeah, you've had two goes at it.
I've had a couple of goes, and just even as we're going through this conversation, it's giving me like it's reigniting my fire to like do this well, because there's definitely a part of me that just wants to throw a grenade at it and walk away again. So, but we're not going to do that, because we're talking about conscious uncoupling.
Yes.
Conscious
And we want the
uncoupling.
two
Get it
doors
in.
to open. We want the two new doors to open to be absolutely fucking delicious.
Yeah. So where were we? So once you've decided on what it is that the new thing that you're wanting to create, give yourself permission to grieve for whatever that's been lost. Sometimes you may need to grieve. But as for Em and I, it's an easy transition. It's like, cool, let's go on to the next thing, because there wasn't any trauma between us. There wasn't like there was just this. We're also not dismantling a business. We're not dismantling a product that we're making money out of. It was really clean. This was just this cool, fun space to us to process our life experiences and share it with you, and hope that you get some gold out of it too. So but you may have some grief, and there may be parts that you need to integrate, and give yourself the time to do that, and set the clear intention with the person of what that looks like and what your expectations are within that space, how much contact you need, or whether it's no contact, or whatever it is, to be able to create that space where you can move forward and create something new, where you can create that beautiful harmony space. Because when you're doing with that, there might be things where you say to the other person, like, let's talk about like what do you need from me during this process to help you with that transition? And sometimes there might be things, sometimes there might not be things. And you also need to be as equally available for that, because if you're not, it's not going to work. So when I look at this experience that I've recently had, like going back through a conscious uncoupling first I was looking at conscious recoupling versus now it's like, no, it's uncoupling. It is definitely uncoupling. But looking in that experience, there was parts that I felt from like the first time round that there was something stuck in my body that I didn't even know that was stuck in my body until I'd come around to have reconnection with this person after 3.5 years. Like we hadn't spoken, hadn't seen each other, and all of a sudden being in the physical presence of this person, there was like this huge connection. And there was this like, oh, like after spending a couple of hours together, I was like, wow, I feel like there's something in my body that started that feels like 20% complete. And I don't know what that is. This is weird. Like, oh my God, like what is this? Anyway, so we stayed in communication. We saw each other again 2 weeks later, and still not knowing what this thing was that was about to come like pouring through my body. And what was really weird was that when I'd left that relationship, all I could feel was relief, because of the past, because of the hurt that I'd experienced in that relationship. I was like, I need to get out of the fire, out of the firing pan, off the battlefield. And I need to start doing this nervous system healing, which you beautiful souls have been on the 2-year journey with me, and all the magic and gold that's come from that. And I was like, I can't do this in this environment, regardless of how much I love this person. It just cannot be done in this environment. Like we need to separate. So then coming back, all of a sudden, I found myself having full access to the love that I felt for this person, which was the wildest fucking plot twist that, I mean, like, I don't know who's writing the script up there for me and all of the crazy shit that I've done in my life. But this one was good. This one even like sideswiped me. Like if I was like reading the book of my life and I saw this, I would be like, I still don't have words for it. Anyway, magical, beautiful, wild. Let's just stick it in that box. interesting. The funniest thing was I literally
Yeah,
just
it's interesting.
I've also spoken many times about what it means when you say that I'm bored when you've had nervous system dysregulation. It's your nervous system going, oh, I've created this really safe environment for myself. And now that it feels so safe, this feels unfamiliar. So I'm bored. I literally just had that conversation being like, oh, I'm feeling a little bored. And then I get a text message and like, you know what? I'm bored and curious enough just to entertain this.
People get so confused between boredom and feeling at peace.
Yeah.
They think they think peaceful is boredom.
Yeah. And I'd actually had my two words for this year, love and peace, which is interesting because both of this
Wow.
whole experience is about love and peace, and both times choosing love and peace for me. So, and I was aware that I was also experiencing peace and I knew like we were getting to the point where I was like, I do need to do some harmonization with this person. Our social circles are getting smaller and smaller. We're going to end up in a room together. It's just needs to happen. So, you know what? I'm just bored and curious enough to entertain it. And I've got enough space in my grid to entertain it. Let's go on an adventure, she says. So anyway, what happened in the reconnection? One night I just had there was an event that happened, and then all of a sudden, all of the grief that I hadn't processed from the relationship. Mind you, I thought I didn't think about this person. This person didn't exist in my reality. Like they just didn't. And I had no idea that I still had so much grief stuck in my body from the beautiful parts of the relationship, from the parts of how much I love this person, from the parts of like all the magic that we shared. Like the first 12 months of this relationship was the most incredible thing I'd ever experienced on this planet still to date. It was so beautiful. Like I'd literally found my fairy tale. And because of all the things that happened in the relationship, I just forgot about it. And so this one night, all of this stuff started like purging through my body. And I mean like ugly crying, like not pretty, ugly crying. And I was like, wow, I hadn't felt like that since the 8-month period that I went through where I was processing all of the 38 years of suppressed feelings that I hadn't, which, again, something that I've shared many times over on the show with you all. And it's like, snotty, ugly crying, like not pretty. And like that night, I found myself like crying myself to sleep. And I'm like, holy shit, I knew there was something stuck in my body. I didn't even know it was stuck in my body until I'd been present in the face of this person the first time. And then to actually experience it coming through my body, I was like, holy shit. I'm so grateful that I gave myself permission to go back around on this experience to then like now we start looking at the conscious uncoupling, right? This was something that was stuck in my system, like something that was preventing me from fully loving another person that I never got to experience or to process because of how we uncoupled the first time.
And this has all come up because your two words for the year were peace and
Peace
love.
and love.
And wherever you're not in peace and love comes up.
100%, right?
This is what people don't understand. Like people go, oh, I'm going to have a word. My word this year is integrity.
Oh,
Fuck, right? Be careful what you ask for because integrity is great, but it shows you everywhere where you're not in integrity yourself. And that's one of the reasons why I uncoupled with the podcast. Because I'm like, I'm actually, it's not flowing the energy. So that's out of integrity. Because where am I out of integrity? I was out of integrity, this. So instead of universe going, oh, well, I'll show you, I went, whoa, I'll choose to do something about it. And that's why it's come up. It's so interesting, isn't it, Kel? Sorry.
Oh, it's fascinating. No, I love that you brought that in there. And like, thank you for acting on your integrity piece before there was a problem between us.
Yeah, because I
Like,
respect
thank you.
us too much. I love us too much.
Yeah.
Like I love you and I
Mm.
together. I love our relationship too much. And I just didn't want to fuck it up by doing that people please thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Like, look at the growth. Like, us the 2 years. Like, we were people pleasers. This would not be ending like this 2 years ago.
No, God, no.
Not at all. Oh my, Em, I just love you. I love you so much.
Love you, babe.
So where was I? Right, purging all of my grief.
Virgin, snot, not coming out, not pretty. That was
Oh. And in fairness, when I look back, that's probably where the experience should have ended. yet. There were a few pieces in there that still kept going that have also taught me about integrity with myself and deeper levels and layers around self-abandoning, self-betraying, overgiving, making allowances, accommodating, that I take full responsibility for with everything that happened next and everything that transpired next. And I take full responsibility for my part in where this new situation is in terms of the conscious uncoupling. And I'm not quite sure how that's going to transpire or whether there is space for this person in my life, at what capacity, or like whether I even want to go down that path or whatever it was. But what I will share with you about what I have learnt, which is again stems from another piece of gold I got off an Instagram reel. These Instagram reels, they're really empowering for me. I really like them. But so what I'm about to share next is an awareness that I would like to leave you all with in terms of how we're creating situations and how we're creating our, I guess, perceptions of other people. Because the truth is, people are always going to show you where they're at more than they are going to tell you where they are at. And when somebody shows you where they are at, and also when they tell you where they are at, believe them. It is not your job to try and get them to like you more. It is not your job to try and get them to see your value. It is not your job to try and love them enough to heal them. It is not your job to do anything to change, fix, whatever you might want to do with that situation to make it them better, to be better for you.
Yeah.
Yet, what we can do, particularly in heightened emotional situations, is act out these things. Yeah, but you know, if I just do this, then maybe they might see me, or if I just love them more, then they could, or blah, blah, blah. No. When somebody shows you where they're at and when they tell you where they're at, believe them. They are doing you the greatest gift of service in doing that. What you need to do is be real with yourself about what that situation is and what's in front of you, and not letting nostalgia be a seductive liar, because it is, and not being like, oh, but if I just, it will blah, because there is no if then when it comes to this kind of stuff. It is what it is. And I know that you hate that saying, and but in this case, like when you're looking at something, it is what it is. So it's really important, like when we come into new connections with people, and do this on all levels. There's a saying, something else off on Instagram, really, I can't remember who it was. A, B, C, D. Always be collecting data. And that is assessing the person for where they're at, like looking at actions matching words. And
results.
Yeah.
It's the results. It's the tangible results. Because somebody can sit there and say, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and yeah. Show me the results.
Yeah.
That the results are always the truth.
Yeah. Show me.
There it goes, oh, you know, I'm a great guy or I'm a great woman, but yeah, no, my family, I don't have family, and I don't get along with my family, and I don't get along, and I don't really, I keep to myself, I don't really have friends, and you know, I've lost business partners. There's your fucking results.
Yeah, show me the carnage behind you, because that will tell me like what's going on right now. Like I want, like, so always be collecting data, A, B, C, D, no matter what it is, always be collecting data and be honest about it. You can literally keep lists. I did this, like I literally have all the good things and all the things that I'm like, this is like, this is what I'm seeing in this is all the positive things about where it's at. And then sure, this is where it could potentially go, but this is the truth of where it's at. And then when you've got the data and like when you can see it, then it helps you be much more grounded and more regulated and realistic in it. This is the like, I'm holding my heart piece, not that I'm going to get swept up in the fantasy, because what we can do, we can future project into the, oh, and it could be this and it could be that. And then you add nostalgia in there. Holy shit, is that a recipe for disaster?
Yeah.
And so what I the piece, so there's that piece, but the piece that I really landed in, and I'm going to be taking this into all of my future dating experiences, because I've tripped myself up on this many times. The situation I had last year, I was totally doing this, but not realizing that I was doing this, and over romanticizing the person when it had nothing to do with the person at all. And so what it is when we've been wanting to experience something for a long time, and particularly happens with romantic partners, is that we get so excited that we've finally got somebody in our reality to play out our fantasies, to go on the date, to have the experience, to do the sensual thing, to whatever it is. And if this person is a pretty close match to how we like to do things, it's going to play out even better. And so what happens, you create these beautiful scenes and these beautiful situations, and you set the energetic field and you set the tone for the thing. So really or you might manage the person into an emotional state so that they can be present with you to have the experience. But essentially what you're doing is you're doing all the work for the person to show up for you how you want to have the experience. And then you have this really awesome experience, and all of your biochemistry is shooting off the oxytocin and the serotonin and the dopamine, and like, oh my God, this person is so amazing and I like them so much. But what's actually happening in that moment, you're not seeing the person for what they contributed to the situation. You're falling in love with yourself, and you're falling in love with the situation that you created and projecting it onto the person and saying it's the person that's the amazing thing.
Boom, chakalaka, mic drop right there. And that's it, people. We have left the building.
Inspired conversations, that's a wrap. So this for me, and I saw this again on an Insta reel, profound moments in 90 seconds. So what I loved about this was like, oh my God, that situationship where I was like, this person that I was having this situationship with, and I'm like, wow, like I'm loving all of these things. I was literally playing out all of my fantasies with this person. This person was just a willing participant. And I'm like, wow, they're so amazing. It's like, who wouldn't want to go on that experience with you? It's fucking epic. And I'm projecting my good feelings about the thing that I've created onto them and making them the special thing. And they're not. It was me.
Yeah, you're the special thing.
I'm the special thing. And so I also caught myself doing that in this situation, in this new situation, in this uncoupling.
Kel. It's good that you saw it. That's awesome.
Right. And then I went, hold on a minute. Whoa, I'm so grateful that I got this bit of data now, because if I didn't, it would have been, I easily could have got lost in a romanticized idea about what I thought, what I was projecting versus what was really happening. And because I also I was very real, I did my ABCD, that it allowed me to have that like grounding space without being like projecting good and bad things onto this person, and just being like, cool, that's just where you're at. And I love you so much. And thank you for being willing to go back around this experience with me, and creating space where we both get to harmonize some of these things so we can close this door and open a new door with love. Two more doors, we'll just go into it much more cleanly, because this relationship was huge for both of us. And
can I say what I'm about to be doing? What's the date? 2 weeks today. 2 weeks today. I will be in London with my son, meeting my ex-husband, his biological father, for the first time in 21 years.
Wow, let's go there. How are you feeling, babe?
I feel really, really good. And it's funny, since I thought, right, I need to go back to London. London is a very mixed bag for me, because I lived there for 7 years. I was married there, and I was a step grandmother before I was a mother. And I really, really loved my step kids and my step grandchildren as well, and the nieces and all that, and the nephews that came with it too. There was a lot of trauma for me in London, but there was also really great things, because my ex-husband had given me 3 amazing things. Given me Jack, Ben, and then the freedom to be the kind of mother that they needed from me. He never got involved. But since I booked the tickets, 2.5, 3 months ago, to even just last week, holy shit, what a ride. And I'm just so happy that I've done that ride on my own and not turned up to their house and just trauma dumped on them or looked at them as though I was there 22 years ago.
Mm.
Do you know, it's like I'm not living, it's not what happened back then is not happening to me now. So I'm looking at it from very beautiful eyes of gratitude.
Yeah.
So it's been really beautiful couple of months. Been very tough as well because I've done so much work consciously and unconsciously and in my heart, but my body, my actual body had memory, cellular memory of what had occurred there. So my brain's like, let's go to London. My heart's like, yeah, it's going to be great, great. My body's like, are you fucking insane?
Huh.
And that's what shocked me. I'm like, hang on, why is my body having a physical reaction to this? What's going on? My body's like, I remember it hurt. Like, I remember what happened. Like, why are you walking into the lion's den? Why are you going back to war? Why are we going to, we don't need to go to war anymore. And it's been a ride. So I love that you're talking about past experiences, future thoughts, all of that. Just go in as it is.
Yeah. And
Love
A, B, C, D.
that. Always be collecting data.
Data.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
I literally saw something today, another Insta reel that this one I shared. And it's talking about when we have experienced trauma, it can take up to 2 years of consistent behavior for that emotional cellular memory to be rewritten in the presence of that person.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Something huge.
Massive.
And that's not okay. Look, and I do truly believe when we're doing the work, it can be done like way faster than that. But I'm assuming that's for like most people not doing the work. But that's just to show you how deeply our intense emotional experiences are imprinted into our physical cellular body, be it good or bad.
Yeah. And it's all to protect us. It's all to make sure that we're safe.
Yeah.
I am very excited about going to London and also Scotland and Ireland and Scandinavia. So Jack and I are actually going back to our motherland to heal bloodlines on there. And we're actually doing a lot of our dragon medicine work there. So we've got an event that's already got 100 people in it in England.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
I know. And it's a donation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're donating ourselves. We're donating ourselves. We're not being paid for it or anything like that. It's going back it's to say thank you for holding me while I lived there and my past lives. And it's also there to say thank you for birthing Jack and for conceiving Ben as well there. So it's a real thank you to the land. It's going to be beautiful. So
wow. And it sounds incredible. What would you ultimately like if we could fast forward to we're having this conversation in a month's time, you've been through this experience being over there. Ideally, like what would you like to feel? How would you like that conscious uncoupling, that conscious parting to be this time for you?
I just want to walk in wherever it's going to be and just give everyone a hug and just feel the hug. Because there's no agenda for me. I don't need anything from them. I would like to give comfort to them because I know there would be a lot of shame. You know, because there's never been a card for the kids or anything like that. And I know that there is a lot of embarrassment on their side. And I just want to walk in and just have absolute gratitude because my boys are the boys they are because of their living arrangements and their lives. And they're incredible young men.
They are incredible young men.
They really are incredible men. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Wow.
It's going to be so interesting.
Can't wait to hear about it. We're going to be overseas at the same time. We should catch up.
Totally.
We'll talk
about off there. Yeah. Guys, we just want to say thank you so much for being on this journey with us. We freaking love all of you. Thank you to all those people that we interviewed and those people that we brought on and we coached on here and those who private messaged us and given us beautiful comments and
thank you. inspiration. We love you
Yeah.
so much. And now if you want to stay connected with us, so obviously a lot of you are already connected with us on socials, but we both have, you've still got your podcast with
Yeah, I've got my podcast with Jason Parks. It's called
That's
Soul
right.
Aligned Results.
Yeah. So
So
we're gonna the link for that, Em's gonna send it to me after the episode, aren't you, Em?
definitely, Kel.
And we are going to put it in the write-up for this. And then you've also got, like, if you come over to the Lifestyle Finance Show, that's my podcast where I interview all of our incredible, amazing business partners that we support with finance, all of the cool stuff that they're doing in the world. And so you're welcome to come over and join me there. We've already had Em on the show. Would always love to have you back again. And so this, or maybe I might have you back again just to talk about your England adventure, but on the Lifestyle Finance Show.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
So yeah, come and join us. This is not the end. We've, like, this beautiful baby has gone and shared in the world. You are welcome to share any of the previous episodes we've done with any of your friends that think they would benefit from it. That we are not closing this down. We're still, it's all over YouTube. We are going to be continuing to keep the podcast channel up. We've already decided on that. It's not going anywhere. We may randomly do a live pop-up somewhere together. It's also it's not a hard end. Because again, the show was about sharing what's inspiring us and what is impactful, and we think it's going to make a difference. So of course, we're going to get on and talk about it. We're just taking out the formal structure.
Kel, thanks so much for doing this with me.
Thank you, Em. It has been a pleasure and honor. The growth journey has been incredible. Thank you for holding my hand in this. Thank you for reflecting back to me so many things with so much love and giving me the opportunity to grow and heal and be seen and witnessed and loved in your presence.
We have grown up so much in the last 2 years. Look at us adulting, Kel.
Right? Let's take our adult selves out into the world and do great things.
Thanks, everybody. We love you.
We love you so much. Mwah.
See you guys.
Bye.